Hello everyone, thank you for joining me in this video. Today, I'm going to talk to you about mentorship for resident registered nurse anesthetists, or RRNAs. But before we get there, we've got to understand why mentorship is important. Anesthesia is a specialty practice of nursing when performed by a trained nurse. Our profession of administering anesthesia is one that's extremely stressful. Why? Simply put, our work environment is demanding. The expectation from us to perform well at every moment is high, and the responsibility we hold is great. Increases in heart rate, systolic blood pressure, serum cortisol levels, and production of salivary alpha amylase levels have been measured in anesthesia providers during the critical times of induction and intubation of general anesthesia in a patient. The rush of catecholamines represent physiological markers of stress, allowing us to physically and mentally adapt and cope with stressful situations. Giving anesthesia is stressful. Learning how to do it is even more stressful. Research shows RRNAs exhibit high levels of anxiety, higher levels compared to residents learning the practice of midwifery, and their anxiety levels increase during clinical training. Studies have reported that RRNAs exhibit high levels of stress every day, on average 7.2 of a 10-point Likert scale. Compare that to staff CRNAs who report daily levels of stress of 4.3 out of 10. Even the way that they're trained lends to different levels of stress. Residents in a front-loaded program with clinicals first have higher levels of stress, 7.1, compared to those who have didactic classes first at 6.9. Highest of all, those in integrated programs who have clinical and didactic education together at 7.9. But the stress that RRNAs feel doesn't just come from training. To help simplify, we can break it down to four main sources of stress: strains dealing with the financial, academic, personal, and personal relationship aspect of their lives.
Penny, nickel, dime, quarter, let's learn. Penny, nickel, dime, quarter, let's learn.
Financially, they can't hold a job or have a stable source of income. It's advised that RRNAs not work while they are in residency. They can't make money. They're spending a ton of money every day on food, rent, bills, life.
How much is a penny? 1 cent.
Money is tight, and every cent matters.
How much is a dime? 10 cents. How much is a quarter? 25 cents.
Academically, it's hard for people to go back to being a resident. Being in a new environment and having responsibilities in a new profession is really hard. Studies have shown that while RRNAs all report high levels of stress, second-year RRNAs reported higher stress levels than their first-year counterparts. This supports the notion that the clinical component of learning is more stressful than the academic component. Personally, they have a lack of time and, frankly, no more effort to take care of themselves. And when you can't take care of yourself, you certainly aren't going to have the time and effort to take care of your friends, family members, or significant others well. A classic study from Perez and Carol Perez noted that 73% of RRNAs are in a state of major life crisis, and 26% are in a state of moderate life crisis. We don't often think that being enrolled in a nurse anesthesia program can cause someone to go through a life crisis. Perhaps we should. Some other uncomfortable stats. 47.3% of RRNAs reported being depressed. 21.2% expressed suicidal ideations. 6.3% knew someone who committed suicide in nurse anesthesia school. These are sobering realities. You are an educator who's been tasked to teach and inspire our future generation of CRNAs. We all want our profession to be the best it can be. Thus, we push our RNAs to be better and to work harder. But at what cost?
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
As anesthesia providers and future anesthesia providers, we are perfectionists, isolationists, independent, high-functioning people. We've been described as people who want full control and efficiency of a given situation. The exact traits that make us capable and able to function under high-stress situations is exactly what makes it difficult for us to get the help we need when we need it. So, what can we do? The American Psychological Association, better known as the APA, said that organizations have an obligation to understand and recognize how they contribute to a toxic negative culture. Likewise, organizations should get credit for when they do provide and promote a culture of positivity and wellness. Positive support mechanisms should exist in an organization, because if they don't, people will find maladaptive ways to attempt to cope with stress. The Council on Accreditation of Nurse Anesthesia Educational Programs, or the COA, define wellness as the positive state of mind, body, and spirit, reflecting a balance of effective adaptation, resilience, and coping mechanisms in personal and professional environments that enhance quality of life. All graduates of a nurse anesthesia program must demonstrate knowledge of wellness, healthy lifestyles, coping mechanisms, and substance use disorders. And all programs must have an evidence-based wellness component to their curriculum. As educators, there's a call to ensure all our residents understand these facets of wellness, including adaptive and maladaptive behaviors that can lead to substance use disorders. The question stands though, are we meeting that call? In 2004, the AANA Health and Wellness Initiative was created with a vision of self-care to support the personal and professional well-being of CRNAs and rRNAs. If you've explored the AANA Health and Wellness website, you'll find health and wellness is prioritized in response to substance use disorders. With good reason. Researchers found that rRNAs are excitement-seeking individuals who crave behaviors that might prove to be addictive in the future. A study in 2014 noted that the 5-year prevalence rate of substance abuse in nurse anesthesia programs was 0.65%. If we break that number down, that was 16 incidences of substance abuse in a pool of 2,439 residents. We know that substance abuse is detrimental to the individuals involved. While half of all risk factors for all substance abuse cannot be found, ineffective coping skills were identified in other incidences. Oftentimes, substance abuse is noted as a late-stage, ineffective coping skill. rRNAs represent the future of our profession. Organizationally, we have an obligation to provide positive mechanisms to support our residents, to try to provide the support and alleviate the stress rRNAs face before it gets too out of hand. rRNAs themselves have said that the number one thing that can be done to support their journey to become CRNAs is to provide peer support. And one known positive coping mechanism to provide peer support is mentoring. We've heard about mentoring quite often. It's a great catchword that nursing and other professions use to promote a healthy work culture. Mentoring is a fundamental aspect of nursing and nursing leadership, and is a great way for us to nurture and develop new leaders. CRNAs should be stewards of their practice by engaging, mentoring, and empowering other nurses. So, let's focus on understanding what mentoring is. I'll start off with what mentoring is not. Mentoring isn't precepting. It isn't teaching. It isn't being a good coach or a good boss. We often mix these terms because we usually think they're interchangeable. Mentoring and mentoring relationships came from the work of Levinson and his colleagues in the 1970s to describe a very specific adult developmental phenomena. Mentoring is a focused relationship between a mentor and a protege, or mentee, the word we usually use now. The term came from Mentor, the friend of Odysseus, who imparted wisdom and knowledge to Odysseus' son, Telemachus. The phenomena of mentoring is to support the personal and professional growth and development of an adult. It's described as a junior colleague, receiving guidance and support from someone more senior. Senior doesn't always mean older though. Senior can refer to someone who is senior of age, experience, or status in an organization. The critical distinction that separates mentoring from any other person-to-person relationship is its goal. The goal of a mentorship relationship is fulfillment of the dream. So what's the dream?
A dream is a wish your heart makes.
The dream is the protege's vision of themselves, what their vision of success is, and how they hope to achieve it. The priority of a mentorship relationship is to enable the protege or mentee to achieve their dream, what the mentee wants, what they strive for, what they dream of, and no one else's. Effective mentors help their mentee develop and evolve their goals so that their dream is attainable. All the while, they support, believe, and strive for the success of their mentee. And the very best mentors? They are those who allow their mentee to grow and surpass their own achievements. They help their mentee fly and get out of their way when they soar. Mentees receive the guidance, support, and protection of their mentor. Successful mentees are hard workers who seek new challenges and are motivated to seek someone to believe in them, invest in them, and guide them. Interaction between a mentor and a mentee is their mentoring relationship. But what kind of mentorship relationship is considered most effective? Research shows that a horizontal peer-to-peer mentoring relationship is considered superior. Horizontal peer-to-peer mentoring participants usually share similar visions, models, and ideas more effectively than participants who are more in a supervisor-supervisee role. For example, rRNAs mentoring other rRNAs might be better than those who are mentored by a CRNA professor or anesthesiologist. Because who can better understand what an rRNA is going through? Better than one who's actually still going through it. While some mentorship relationships develop naturally between two people, oftentimes mentorship relationships are created and cultivated by mentorship programs. Mentorship programs are made up of volunteer mentors and mentees, and a mentorship coordinator who ensures the success of a mentorship program. Successful mentorship relationships rely on the mentor and the mentee. Successful mentorship programs rely on a mentorship coordinator. The role of a mentorship coordinator is one who provides guidance to new mentors, matches mentor and mentee pairs, solicits feedback on the pairs, explains the goals of the mentorship program, facilitates discussion, and establishes expectations for the mentoring pair. Given all this talk about mentorship and mentorship programs, what does this do for our rRNAs? Mentored rRNAs were found to have increased commitment and persistence in an academic program, which is helpful toward attaining success for their future. Those who were mentored reported lower daily stress levels compared to those who were not. In addition, those who were mentored reported increased perceived clinical self-efficacy, which helps to enhance the quality of care that they provide. In a formalized mentorship program that provided training on how to become mentors and mentees, rRNAs noted that their mentorship relationships were improved and enhanced. Mentorship can be a positive mechanism to help alleviate their stress our rRNAs go through during this time of their lives by providing the peer support that they want. Hopefully, with more research and time, we can develop methods to implement mentorship in all our nurse anesthesia programs to help the future of the profession. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Please continue to the following link to take a post-watch survey. Thank you so much and see ya!